It's 2024, you're a real estate agent, and you're looking for more business. It should go without saying that we're in a very challenging market right now. Some would call it slow. On the one hand, you have buyers that are struggling with the higher interest rates and higher sales prices of homes. And on the other, you've got sellers who are likely, if they bought or refinanced over the last few years when the interest rates were low, are not that motivated to sell because of those low interest rates. But you need to sell more homes. So in this video, I'm going to share my top 7 real estate content ideas that you can use now to grow your business. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to share with you one last little trick to help you dial up the success with these strategies. Number 1 is a perennial favorite, market updates. People are always asking, it goes without saying that you and I, as real estate professionals, we know what's going on. It's our business to know what's going on. We know what's moving, what isn't selling, at what price they're selling at, what type of product is selling. Is it condos? Is it single families? Is it homes on the water? Is it 55 and over communities? We know because we have our finger on the pulse, or at least you should, as a real estate professional, know what's going on in your market. But by and large, a lot of people are that are buying and selling public, in our buying and selling public, the consumer, if you will, doesn't really have that level of knowledge than we do, as you wouldn't expect them to. So it's really our job to educate them and fill them in on what's going on in their market and what really matters to them. People love a voice of reason and calm and education. So be that for them, and you'll see how quickly you attract people to you. Number 2 is neighborhood guides. And I like this one because it ties in well with the first one. And it also ties in really well with the idea of being a market specialist. Now, in my years of training agents, I've always emphasized the importance of being a specialist in an area, whether it's a geographic area or, like I mentioned earlier, a type of product, a type of home, a certain area, a lifestyle, golf community. Here in Florida, we have golf communities and equestrian communities and even fly-in communities where for people that own aircraft. So you need to really become a specialist. Early on, when you're a brand new agent, and hopefully not when you're a more seasoned agent, you probably are trying to just generate some business. So whatever comes your way, you're happy to service that and make the commission. But I would encourage anyone that's looking to have any kind of longevity in this industry is to really focus in on what they want to focus in on. What are they good at? What do they already know? What is your specialty, or what do you just enjoy? Maybe you live in a golf community and because you enjoy it so much, you know how it works. You know what the rules are. You know what the fees are. You know what these different membership options mean for a potential buyer who's looking to move into the area. So I always encourage you to become a specialist, which then, of course, leads into this second point of neighborhood guides. Be a guide, have the information, be that voice of knowledge and that source that people can come to, so that when they're thinking about that particular lifestyle or that particular neighborhood, they're going to think of you. Number 3 is one you should already be doing, which is client testimonials. This is really important because it's one thing for you to say how great you are and you do this and you do that. And like even me on camera, right? Why should you be listening to someone like me, or why should a client be listening to someone like you? Well, it's because, you have these receipts, if you will, of people you've served in the past. And what I love about client testimonials is that most of them are just so excited to share their experience with them. One strategy, though, when you are looking to get client testimonials that you're going to use for social media or your email marketing or video marketing, whatever you're going to do, is to make sure you get it really soon after you close the deal, or right as you're closing the deal, because that's the moment where there's the most excitement. And they're easier. The client is usually easier or more open to sharing their experience with you. And of course, it's more top of mind. So they're likely to share a wonderful testimonial about how great of an agent you were. And those speak volumes because, again, it's one thing for you to say how great you are and how awesome you are, how long you've been in business. That's all wonderful. But from another new prospect's perspective, to hear it from a client you've served means a lot more. Number 4 is one I really, really enjoy, and I've enjoyed it more as my career has continued to evolve. And I think it's one that is missed too often, and that's business collaborations. For real estate agents, we're kind of used to, tag teaming, if you will, with mortgage brokers, insurance agents, attorneys, those kind of ancillary partners, ancillary businesses that we surround ourselves as we go through the day-to-day of transacting real estate, right? But, Being able to get in, sit, for instance, here we shoot podcast videos and we have interviews, and, to be able to get someone on camera or to be able to, have an interview with them and have them share their expertise. Again, similar to the testimonials, it's another voice. It's another person that's in the room, or if you're writing this, if this is, content that's written, to have someone else that you're showcasing is so important. And not only is it important for the viewer to see that you have these relationships and you're someone who's established in the market, but it's also a great bridge and relationship building with that person, right? And it just fortifies that you guys are partners in this, and you respect each other, and that's who is going to think of you, right? That person's going to think of you. That real estate insurance agent or that attorney is going to think of you because you guys are collaborating on these things, and that's just going to bring business for both sides. So that's a really important relationship to have. Okay, number 5 is real estate FAQs, frequently asked questions, right? These are the questions that really everyone is asking, buyers and sellers are asking about the home buying or home selling process. And these are questions that you all should already, as real estate professionals, should already have a real easy short list that you could just write on a piece of paper, 5, 10, 15 of these right off the top of your head, because we deal with them all the time. And so if one customer is asking those questions, that undoubtedly a lot of more people are going to be asking those similar questions. And so to be able to create that content and have that ready so that when you are in a conversation with a potential client, one of my favorite ways, by the way, to use this is when that question comes up and you're especially in the early stages of creating a relationship with a potential client, is to be able to send them via text, via email, however you want to send it to them, a answer. Like you have that prepared. That level of preparation in the eyes of that prospect is gonna be like, wow, this guy or gal, they're on top of it. Not only did they know how to answer my question and had the answer to my question, but they sent me this supplementary information that either you created it or you found it online, but you branded it to your own. This really is taking it to another level where it's just not you answering a question, but you're already prepared and you've got that piece of content to supplement that conversation. That goes so far with building that relationship and making sure that you're their agent of choice. So number 6 is an easy follow-up to number 5 because it's talking about preparing to buy. But this takes it a little step further because now you're creating content and guides about what it takes to buy a home, right? Especially when you're dealing with someone who is new to the home buying process, a first-time home buyer, or just someone who hasn't bought in a long time, what that process looks like. Because just because they've bought 10, 15, 20 years ago doesn't mean that things haven't changed in terms of the process of buying a home. And so having that content at the ready, having a checklist, having a timeline that you've created is a great piece of content to have to, again, either email, send via link. I'm a big proponent of texting potential clients and sending them links to different assets, what I call assets, or collateral, marketing collateral, but that is really helpful, not just a brochure about me, right? Things that are actually checklists, how to get started, how to prepare. Those are really, really important. And it gives the potential buyer not only a roadmap, but the assurance that they're dealing with someone who's got their act together. And number 7, as you would have guessed it, is preparing to sell, right? Now we've got the other side, which is our people, which are our customers or our prospects that are looking to sell, and the timeline, the guides. What does that journey look like? What do they need to know in order to have a successful sale? What is the process with you specifically as a real estate agent? What are those steps that you need to take because your brokerage has certain rules or the way you do business? What are those steps? What do they look like? And what does that timeline look like for someone to have a real expectation? Because as we know, there's a lot of steps. And the reason why we provide so much value is because we're the guide, we're their steward to get them through from A to Z. And so having those guides, having those preparations, like how to prepare your home. We all know those tips that we always need to share. What should your home look like in order to get the best sales price, right? The highest sale price and the least amount of time. And then when we're under contract, what does that look like? Once we're under contract, what does that escrow period look like? And some people use and depending on where you are in the country, they use those as escrow periods or inspection periods, different terminology, but it's one and the same. What does that middle stage look like? And how should they be prepared? And how do you communicate with them? How will you stay in touch with them? And then, of course, finally, what does it look like when you're at the closing table and what to expect then? And so being able to create these pieces of content are incredibly invaluable. And they're pieces really that you're going to create them once. And by and large, you're done. You've created them once and they're going to live and they're going to have a long shelf life. Or in the video space where I spend a lot of my time, we just call it evergreen content, right? It's content that's going to live for a long time and has a long shelf life. And that leads me to my bonus tip, video. All of these 7 tips that I've shared with you can be really ramped up and dialed up by the use of video. And that's what we do here. That's what I've been doing and how I built my business, is really being thoughtful about creating all of this content via video, which again, I text, email, and send through social messaging as well to our prospects so that they know, so they understand what's going on. So I'm going to give them a market update via video. Hey, Jane, how you been? It's been a while since we talked last. I just want to let you know that those condos you were looking at, now there used to be 4 for sale. Now there's only 2 for sale. I don't know if you're still interested. These last 2 sold for X, Y, and Z in this amount of time. So if it's something you're interested, let me know. Or if you want to pivot to a different search, please let me know. That's a market update video. Or the videos about, how to prepare to buy, how to prepare to sell. All of these can really be personalized and bring so much more impact via video. So definitely consider it. And if you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, because video is going to be something that I really lean in on to help you build your business, build your brand, and bring you more sales.